Well, first of all, I thought Kansas played a great game. I thought they came in with a really good focus, and I thought they made a lot of connecting plays, especially offensively. And when they didn't make a play offensively, I thought they did a really good job of getting second and third, shot opportunities that led to, points for them as well. I thought we have to be better. I thought, the way we hang our hat, one place defensively and rebounding, I thought in both areas, it wasn't who we've been and who we want to be. And we have to get back in the gym and we have to start working toward what we have to do to be successful in this conference.
Which obviously was a tough matchup, but just what surprised you when you look at your team and the performance today? What surprised you the most?
Well, surprised me the most was, when we come out there, we know they're going to be, really locked in and focused. And, we need to match that same intensity with our mindset. And I thought we kind of got knocked back early. I thought they came out and they made some plays, especially at the basket with Hunter. I thought Hunter set the tone. Fifth-year senior, skill platinum on Hunter since he's in high school. He's a great player, great college player. And he set the tone for them. He set the tone by finishing around the basket. He set the tone by offensive rebound putbacks. And I think they were able to feed off of that. I thought on the other end, we tried to get it all back fast when they started building the lead. We had guys trying to make one-on-one plays individually. And that's not who we've been. We've been a guy that we connect with each other. We play off each other. That's when we've been the most successful. So I think that helped snowball what was going on. It came from a good place. They were trying to get it back for us, but we're not an individual playmaking team. That's not who we've been, and we need to still stay true to who we've been and how we've been successful.
Coach, you guys shot 14 of 68 from the field. You mentioned that they were playing one-on-one. Do you feel like the guys were starting to press a little bit once they saw the lead getting away from them?
Exactly. They started pressing, and it's a natural reaction. And so when you try and teach guys, and we're still in the process of becoming who we can become, these guys have to understand. And I think this is a lesson learned for us that that's not going to be the way to get it done. You're not going to start pressing, trying to make individual plays and get us back in the game. And then no shot's worth 10 points or 14 points. So you might as well continue to play and make connecting plays and chip away as opposed to thinking I can do it on myself and forcing shots. Because a lot of times when you force those shots, those end up being bad shots and shots that lead them in transition. Because usually, and I tell our guys all the time, a bad shot's like a turnover. So it's going to get the team out running because of the way the ball's going to bounce. So you have to, resist those temptations, even though I know it comes from a good place and you want to win. Stop pressing offensively and continue to make connecting plays.
Coach, talk about pressing. It seemed like they were disrupting a lot of your sets, forcing you into ISO situations. What do you hope to see moving forward in terms of ball movement?
We have to be better with our ball movement, getting the ball reverse, getting the ball side to side. And they were disruptive, with some of the things they were doing, trying to take that away. And so we have to be better with our cuts. We have to play with better pace. That's something we talk about all the time. We play fast. We want to get up and down the floor in the half court. We want to move fast, cut hard. And so those things we didn't do at the level we needed to do. And they were able to really lock in because, I think they had a really good game plan. And I think we gave, some help by not moving with a purpose, not ball and body movement together. The ball was too stagnant, and our movements wasn't as sharp as we would like for them to be.
Coach, Kansas was able to get 62 of its points from inside the paint. Obviously, that's a big deal to Hunter. What do you want to see change, though, with this team going forward in the season as far as defending?
We have to take pride in how we defend, all over the floor, but especially in the paint. We have to have our guys understand we have to make it difficult for them to score around the basket. And then we can't give them second and third shot attempts. Part of that is not only was it like Hunter scoring in the paint, he had 27 on, 17 shots, but also it's second and third shot attempts they were getting on goal because all those are right around the basket. I mean, they may have kicked out and shot 1-3. I think the rest of them were right at the basket putbacks. And that's unacceptable. We have to do a much better job of understanding what we teach and making sure we execute that in the game.
Coach, what does this team need to do down low with losing 63 to 32 on rebounds and then losing on the paint 62 to 10?
We have to take it personal. We have to get better. We have to take this as a chance to grow. Now, I always say, and I tell our guys, usually a lesson learned is a tough lesson. So we have a tough lesson we learned today, with what we were doing, in the paint. And now we have to respond. We have to get better from the lesson that we've just learned. And we have to get in there right away. We have to continue to get working on it. And we have to work on it with a purpose. And we have to make sure that we are chipping away and getting better at it as we move forward. It's not happening overnight. It's a process for these things. They can't just, I can't sprinkle no magic dust on them and all of a sudden they just have it. It's just going to be continuous hard work on the fundamental things we got to do to be successful. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And I know these guys, are going to continue to work at it, and I know they'll respond.
Coach, I was gonna say, Johnny, 51-point loss. I mean, it's something you guys obviously didn't think you're gonna face. How do you turn the page so quickly? I mean, you've been through losses during your career. How do you get your team maybe to kind of, you want them to focus on fixing things, but how do you get them maybe to put the taste of this loss out of their mouth?
Well, I mean, part of it is you still want to remember it because there's some lessons in this game that we have to learn. And so part of it is you want to remember the lessons. What do we have to do to get better? And then we have to look at fixing those things. You know, there are always things that you can point to where you have to improve based on how you play, win or loss, win or lose. And so we have to take those things and we have to start working on them diligently to make the changes necessary. And we have to keep our young people's minds, because they're young. We have to keep our young people's minds, you know, focused on what's important, and that's focus on the process, focus on improving, you know, take the lessons that we learn and then move forward with that, you know, and carry them into the next game is what we have to have these guys do. And when you change personnel as much as we have, you know, you have a bunch of new guys, you know, this is their first time experiencing something like this. And so with us in our program. So we have to help, you know, walk them through this as we go through this process. But the main thing is I believe in my guys. My guys are, you know, good enough to be competitive in our conference for sure. And we have to continue just to work at it with that belief and stay connected as a team.
Coach, it's important, you just addressed it right now, but how important is it to kind of lean on some of your veterans, guys like Darius, to extend that message to his teammates, the one that you're delivering right now, about moving on here?
Hugely important. You know, we have to lean on our experienced players, our seniors, Darius, Jalen, guys that have been with me the longest. We need those guys in the locker room, making sure they're echoing exactly what I'm saying and making sure when we hit the court for practice and preparation that they're focused on those things and holding everybody accountable for doing the things that we have to do to be successful.
Coach Mustafa Chiam picked up 2 early fouls in the first half, and as he was playing time after during that half, what's the kind of dilemma with him not wanting him to get a foul trouble, keeping him in the game to keep you guys in the game?
Well, he has to, you know, he's still learning. I mean, he's a reclass guy who's getting better. I mean, you know, he has enormous potential, but we have to continue to develop him and who he's going to be. And so he's probably, I think the last 3 games in a row, he's been in foul trouble in the first half. And that hasn't helped us because, you know, we're better with him on the court. So we need him to, you know, be disciplined defensively. He's still learning at this level how physical you can be, what you can and cannot do. He's what, in game 12 or 13 of his college career? You know, should be a senior right now. So for him, I think it's more of just a learning experience every time he steps foot on the floor. Like the way he fouled the game before this one was different than how he picked up his foul in this game. So each time, though, he's learning. And he's a guy that will process it and he'll get it. It's a function of just being disciplined, keeping your hands off of people so that you don't put yourself in harm's way, and you have a better chance of being successful and standing on the floor.
Coach, you talked about the importance of letting this loss be a lesson learned. I guess in what you've learned about this team and who they are so far this season, what makes you confident that they will respond the right way and that they won't let some of these problems that came to life snowball?
Well, I think our leadership is going to be very important. You know, I believe in our leaders. They've done a great job thus far leading our team to where we are, and I think they will continue to do that. I think we lean on guys like Darius Johnson. We lean on guys like Jalen Sellers, like Keyshawn Hall. Those guys have been our leaders. And Debo Coleman has been, you know, terrific too, you know, from in a different role, not as a captain, but having a voice in the locker room. So those guys, we have 4 guys that have been really good about that all season long. I don't think that changes. I think what happens is we just hold each other more accountable as we go forward, and we start to work on the fundamentals even harder to improve in areas that we know we need to improve in.
As a follow-up to that, how do you instill that sense of accountability? Is it just from the leader setting the example, or is that something that you have to preach as well?
Oh, no. That's coming from me, coming from the top, and then it sprinkles down to our captains, which sprinkles down to our players. And so the things that I'm emphasizing, the other things that we're going to hold guys accountable for to make sure that we get better in those areas. And then our captains, they'll echo what I'm saying. They'll continue to preach what I'm saying as well in their own way from their voices so that we all, you know, understand that we're singing off the same sheet of music. And so they understand what our standards are. It starts there. And we're holding you accountable to our standards. And we grow from that.
All set?
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Take care.